This is April from the Vocal Veteran. I wanted to pop on and quickly go through a few things I've noticed in my work with clients this week. So I've made some notes. I'm going to refer to them so I don't forget anything. The first thing I want to cover is secondary conditions and how you might do some appeals or supplementals for secondary conditions. And then I want to talk about how to make sure that all your claims are correctly reflected in VA system, as well as all the contentions on those claims. And then I will, oh my gosh, sorry. I'm going to take a sip of water. And then I will conclude by talking about some of the tutorial videos that are available here on my channel that might be helpful for you. Okay. The first is secondary conditions. Now, there's lots of videos out there about secondary conditions. I wanted to point out one thing that is maybe not as obvious or as talked about, and that is a secondary, a new theory of service connection can be the new and relevant evidence for your supplemental claim. So let's say you put in a claim for knee pain and you put it in as directly service connected. Excuse me. So you put in for direct service connection for your knee pain and it came back denied. But you are service connected for ankle issues, or you are service connected for hip issues, some other orthopedic issue. Well, then you can do a supplemental claim for that knee that was not service connected directly. You do a supplemental claim and say, as my new and relevant evidence, I would like to submit this knee issue as secondary to my already service connected ankle issue, hip issue, back issue. You get the point, right? So submit a personal statement talking about how whatever the service-connected condition is has made your knee pain worse or caused your knee pain. And then say, this is my new way that I would like to claim this condition, and please evaluate it accordingly. You will likely get another exam, and they will have to order a new medical opinion to consider whether that exam, whether that condition could have been caused by your other service-connected condition. So, little tip for you on secondaries. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I had an alarm set and forgot to turn it off. Okay, here we go. So another one that I have seen denied a lot lately is sleep apnea, OSA, obstructive sleep apnea. That is something that is a condition many, many veterans who were deployed suffer from. And you claim it as connected to your TARA, to your toxic exposure. And then what has been happening, at least for my clients recently, is the examiners will say, well, yes, you had all these toxic exposures, but you also have thick neck, like your neck circumference is big, or you are overweight, or you smoked, whatever amount of things. And those are more likely the cause of the sleep apnea. So not service connected. Well, there is other theories of service connection. So if you have a mental health condition that is service connected, that could exacerbate sleep apnea. If you have any other breathing conditions that are service connected, those could cause sleep apnea or make sleep apnea worse. And so I would encourage you to do again a supplemental claim to say, okay, you've denied me direct service connection for sleep apnea, but I would like you to consider all these other theories of service connection. And I'm already service connected for asthma, or I'm already service connected for rhinitis or PTSD. All of those things, you can find medical studies that connect to obstructive sleep apnea. So Just because you got denied as directly service connected, do not think that's the only path. Okay, I'm seeing some seeing some comments here. That's a great question. I'm not a medical professional, so let me just start with that. It sounds like if you have that already service connected, that is an orthopedic issue or a nerve issue. And if you can make the argument that it would make your knee worse or have caused your knee pain, that sounds like a viable argument to me. But again, I'm not a medical professional. Sounds like a path to at least explore, right? Great question. Okay, so I've gone through the secondary conditions and all theories of service connection. Now, let me just make you aware of something that I've seen again a lot recently. Make sure that all the claims that you've submitted are now showing up in your VA, like when you look at your VA profile, that they show up as open claims, and make sure that all the contentions that you claimed are there. So I shared in a previous live a few weeks ago about a client who we submitted a supplemental for 4 conditions, and then they only ordered an exam for 1 of the 4. And that was real puzzling for us. And I went into I, as an agent, have access to the VA's system. And I went in and looked in their system and I saw, oh my gosh, even though on the form we have all 4 contentions, when they actually uploaded the claim and made it an active claim, they only put the first one. It's like the system just scanned and saw the first one and not the rest. So I had to put in a work order and ask them to add the rest of those contentions. And you can do that too. So you don't have to have an agent to get this type of thing done. So let's say you've put in a claim for 4 conditions, and now you see in VA's, like on your side, when you see an open claim, you see that it's only listing 1 of those 4. You can call the 1-800 number, 1-800-827-1000. You talk to a person and say, hey, listen, I just put in a supplemental claim, or I just put in higher level review, whatever it is. And I'm not seeing that everything registered. Would you check that for me? And they are usually very nice and helpful. And they can look at the actual form that you submitted and they can see, oh yeah, look at that. It only registered 1 out of 4. How weird. And then they put in a work order for you. And it might take a week or 2 for the work order to actually result in a change in that, in your profile, like what you can see online, but it will happen, and just keep checking it, right? So give it a few weeks. And if it hasn't corrected in a few weeks, call back, see what's going on. But then also I submitted for a client, a new claim, a supplemental claim, a higher level review, and adding dependents. Okay. So it was a doozy. It was a lot of things, right? And they all went in, they all made it through. And then in the system, it only showed up as a new claim and a higher level review. So we were missing the supplemental and the add dependents claim. So I call the 1-800 number and I say, hey, listen, I submitted all these things and I don't see, I only see 2 of the 4. And the lady was really nice and she said, oh yeah, weird. So she put in a work order for the supplemental, and then somehow the dependent claim, instead of being a separate claim, was added as a contention in the 526 claim. So weird. And she couldn't figure out how to separate it out because of however it had been added. So we're just going to look at that and keep an eye on it, see what happens. Very strange. So as VA is automating more and more, that makes things move a little faster, which we're all happy about, but it also means there's more room for error, or maybe not more room for error, but there is room for error because the automatic scanning just, it misses sometimes the first claim, the first contention in your claim, or it misses the last. That's what I've noticed for my clients. It's usually, if something is missing, it's usually the first one or the last one. No idea why. So just keep an eye on it. Got to keep track. All right. Lastly, I just want to point out that on this channel, I have many, many tutorial videos on how to sign into the VA website, how to request your records, how to sign up for Champ VA. That's been the most recent how-to tutorial video that I've done. They are step by step. They walk you through it. Super simple and easy. And if you feel like, oh my gosh, I really don't know how to sign into the VA website or how to download the app, there is a tutorial video for you on this channel. So make sure you check those out if you need them. Share them with your friends. If you have a friend who's like, I cannot get the hang of this app, there's a video for that. All right. Thank you so much for being here. We've just crossed 1,100 subscribers, so that's so exciting. I really appreciate your support. I really enjoy working with those of you who have come to me as clients from this channel. It's just such a pleasure to do this work. And as you heard, I have an alarm because I have another meeting coming up. So wanted to make sure I got this information out there, and thank you for being here. I really enjoy this. All right. So have a good weekend. See you again soon.